this hibiscus tree, plant, shrub. I don't know what it's called. Also, there are some massive bees flying around on that. But look at how beautiful this is. I love it so much. And all of the carcasses on the ground. Okay. Okay, ready? Go get it. Alright, hello. It's been a while since I've vlogged. It's currently Tuesday. I haven't vlogged for like over a week. I have been very busy between making some new stuffed animals, which are going to be a dedicated video all their own, so that'll be coming up at some point. And also I've been working hard on getting my t-shirt quilt business up and running a little more. So I have been busily getting like a Facebook page up because I don't want to sell through anything else, because then you go into all of the fees and everything and I don't want to deal with all that. Ugh. So I have been working on getting a Facebook page made for it, and my hopes is that the Facebook page is going to be able to be easily shared from people. So I've already had a couple people who I have made t-shirt quilts for in the past go and leave reviews on the page, which is really, really helpful. I'll leave a link to it in the description if you wanted to go and like the page and support me, because that would be amazing and I would really, really appreciate that. But yeah, I make t-shirt quilts. I don't know if any of you watching this knew that or not, but I make t-shirt quilts. A lot of them are memory quilts for people who have had loved ones who passed away. I have also though made them of like people whose children are outgrowing their clothes, but there are a lot of like really cool memories attached to those quilts, or attached to those shirts. So they give me their children's clothing that they've outgrown, and I've made quilts out of those as well. So it doesn't have to be just somebody who's passed away. It's like, it could just be memories. So I've made a couple collage style quilts. I plan on making like themed collage style quilts to sell on my Etsy page, to hopefully then gain some more traction of people seeing those quilts and being like, oh, I have a lot of like Disney quilts. I could, or gosh, I keep interchanging quilts and t-shirts. Those are not the same things. My hope is to make like a Disney t-shirt collage style t-shirt quilt and sell that on my Etsy, and then people see that and let people know, be like, hey, I make these t-shirt quilts. If you have a bunch of t-shirts you want turned into a quilt, like I'm your girl, I can do that. You're okay, Lambeau. Take a couple deep breaths. You've played a lot. You need to breathe. Oh, he's gonna lay. Oh, you're just gonna lay down in the shade. Okay, good boy. Good boy. So, and then if there's enough interest in those just like fandom collage quilts, then I could start looking and finding like t-shirts and fabrics that are Star Wars or Harry Potter or DC or Marvel or a Doctor Who or other like popular fandoms that I'm able to find clothes for. And who knows, maybe if this gets big enough, people will like donate clothes to me of these fandoms so I can make quilts that people have donated shirts to. Who knows? I think it would be kind of fun. But that's where my hope is for that right now. I'm also hoping that, because it's currently August, the beginning of August, I'm hoping that people will start seeing that I do t-shirt quilts and get thinking about Christmas ideas and Christmas presents, because a t-shirt quilt, unless you already have stuff like fully set aside and ready to go, it can take a while to like prep it, as far as like getting it to the person who's making it, so me in this case. So I'm trying to get people thinking that now, because if you want to just use t-shirts you have, like, you have to go through all of them. If you're wanting it to be a surprise for somebody, like, you got to find a way to get those clothes away from them without them noticing that all of their shirts are gone suddenly. So it's like, it might take some like time to get everything, because a lot of times t-shirt quilts make really, really cool presents. So that's my thought. That's my hope. Anyway, I'm going to be trying to advertise it more. I'm outside right now because I am relaxing with Senior Pupper over there, and the cat's watching in the window. Because like I've been trying to do more of like a block scheduling type of organization to my day, where I set aside specific times to do things. And right now it's a pretty, like, I don't have like 17 things I'm trying to accomplish. I have like 4 things. So like, I get up at 8, I take Lambeau for a walk, I get my coffee, I get my breakfast, I do devotions, and then all of that should be done by or before 10. So then at 10 or earlier, like in this case this morning it was 9:30, I go into the craft room, I sit down, I do my drawing for TikTok for the day. And then after that, I start working on whatever project I'm working on. So in this case, it's making the new stuffed animals that I'm working on. So I keep working on that. And then I work until 1 o'clock and I take a lunch break. And so I'm currently still in like my lunch break right now, which is why I'm outside with Lambeau, because I ate, I still had 15 minutes and I thought, let's go outside and enjoy some nice weather. So that is what I am doing. I'm just watching all of the cars go by to make sure nobody looks at me talking to my phone because I'm self-conscious. But then I'm gonna go back in, I'm gonna work on the sewing stuff more, and then I'm gonna take a break for supper because Dan worked this morning, so he'll be home in time for like a normal hour supper. And then after supper, I'm planning on to try to keep up with editing and all of the different editing things I want to do. All of my evenings I'm gonna try dedicating to editing. So like at least like 2 hours every night, I'll just be like editing videos or editing photos or editing TikToks or all of this other stuff just to see what I can get done and how like effective that type of scheduling works. This is really only the first week I've actually like tried doing it and sticking with it. So we'll see how it goes. I'm really hoping that I don't get discouraged if I can't stay in the schedule, or I don't get discouraged if I like finish things too quickly and then have all this free time that I waste. Because that's why I've not been good at scheduling in the past, is either I don't schedule enough and then I do absolutely nothing productive with all of the extra time that I have left over, or I schedule too much, I can't accomplish all of it, and I get very discouraged that I failed. So I'm hoping this block scheduling, I'm going into it with the air of, at this time I'm going to stop doing this thing to work on this thing, whether it's done or not. And like I've scheduled ahead enough that like essentially this entire week I'm working on those stuffed animals to try to finish that video this week, which it might take longer than that, but we'll see. I'm just doing it day by day, seeing how it goes, learning from the day previous, adjusting, and trying to make something work. You'll find out right along with me if it actually worked or not. Ooh, we're having lamb for supper. This is a butterflied leg of lamb. It's resting right now, and then we have to put it in the oven. We just had it in the broiler, which is nice and browned. I don't know, I just figured I'd vlog a little bit of what we're eating because I've been very bad at vlogging anything recently. I did just start up continuing a project that I put on halt a year ago, and that is my Packers quilt. I don't know if any of you guys remember me saying that I was gonna be working on this, but I'm finally working on it again. I am still filming the entire process, so that will be a video eventually, hopefully before too long, because I've already gotten half of the top of it sewn today alone. So hopefully pretty soon that video will be up, and it'll be kind of a blast from the past because the first half of it or more is when we were still at my mom's house a year ago. So that'll be kind of fun to see. I just did a pretty big thing yesterday. The last couple of days, I've finally pulled out the Packers quilt that you can see behind me that I've been working on. I started that project like over a year ago, and then we moved and started a church plant. So I haven't had the time to pull it out and continue on it. So I just recently pulled it out and started sewing all of the pieces together. And I realized how terrible my current sewing machine is for sewing quilts and quilting. It's a great like beginner sewing machine in my opinion. Like it's really, really good. It works well. And for like other smaller projects, it's great. But for sewing quilts and quilting and things, it's pretty terrible. So I was talking to Dan. I did some research. I found a really nice, large sewing machine, sewing / quilting machine that I really liked, and it checked all of the boxes that I said it needed to check, plus it checked boxes that I hadn't thought about. And so I talked to Dan, and he was like, it wasn't a small purchase, but he was like, if you actually continue working hard at like doing quilts and selling quilts and making t-shirt quilts, he's like, this sewing machine will be paid for pretty quickly with just a couple of quilts. So we bought it, and I'm very excited. It's coming in like a week, and I'm very excited. So hopefully the next vlog you see, I will be like unboxing that, because I'm very excited. So also something I didn't realize was I ordered it on tax-free weekend. Apparently that's a thing. I had no idea that was a thing. I was telling Dan, I was born and raised in Illinois, so obviously living in Illinois, you wouldn't know anything that was tax-free. But apparently it's a thing, and not in all states. Like, apparently only certain states participate in it, which I found interesting because I was looking it up because I was very curious about this. Because when I bought the sewing machine yesterday, there was no tax added, and I was really confused why there was no tax. And I was like, is this, like, am I gonna get in trouble at the end of the year or something for this? I was very confused. I mean, I'm glad, because that saved us a ton of money not having to pay tax on it, but I didn't understand why there was no tax on it. And then later on that evening, I was watching a live stream on Twitch, and some of the people in the comments just happened to be talking about getting like school supplies for college or something, and they were like, I wasn't charged any tax. And then somebody else commented, they're like, oh yeah, like it's tax-free weekend. And I was like, wait a second. So I did research into it, and apparently like 10 or so states for like a weekend or a week right around this time, right before school starts, do like a tax-free weekend where you can go and get like school supplies and things needed for school tax-free. And I had no idea that was a thing. Also, I didn't realize a quilting machine would fall under school supplies, but apparently it does. Another thing I found interesting was Indiana was not one of those states that I saw listed in the article I read that was like participating in the tax-free weekend thing, but I'm wondering if the website I ordered the sewing machine off of was based in one of those states. So because I purchased it from that website that was in that state, that I got the tax-free. That's the only thing I can think of. I didn't look to see where that website was, like where like the home base for that website was, but I don't know, I thought that was very interesting, and that was really, really cool. God's timing is pretty awesome, because I did not know that, Dan did not know that, and we were able to buy a fairly expensive quilting machine tax-free, which is kind of awesome. But yeah, I thought I would share that because that's going to be coming pretty soon, and I'm very excited. I'm not getting rid of my old sewing machine. That's still hanging out down here. I'm still going to use that for smaller projects and, like, stuffed animals, most likely. Because, like I said, it's still a good sewing machine. It's just for these projects, like these larger, thicker projects, like, it does not cut it anymore. If, like, when I do the unboxing of the new sewing machine, I will explain the features that the new one has that my current one does not have, and explain why those things are helpful. So if you're curious about that, you'll be able to see in that video. But I'm pretty excited because I've kind of been wanting to upgrade for a while, but pulling out this quilt and working on a quilt for the first time in a year, the extreme need sort of punched me in the face, being like, if you want to actually make quilts for people, you need to upgrade. Like, you need to invest the money and just upgrade now. So that's what I did, and I'm very excited. And this quilt now gets to sit here for another like week while I wait for that to come in, because I'm not going to work on this anymore until that comes in. So also, that's going to be a video all its own, so if you want to see that video, it'll be coming out on my channel when I finish the quilt. So yeah. Got a cat rubbing against my leg, so I'm gonna love on a cat. Hi, cat. How are you? Also, it has been, like, stormy all day. It's been super overcast and, like, lightly rainy, but there's also just kind of been thunder all day, and I love it. It's my actual favorite.